president at bottom of the 420th inning. So there's a crack in the bat. It's hit. He's running. He's rounding first. He's rounding second, completely ignoring third base. Oh, he's sliding head first into 69th base with Doug Mellard.
What up? Welcome to 69th Base. I am Doug Mellard. This is the podcast where I talk a lot of shit on guys like Skip Bayless that talk a lot of shit on people that sometimes don't deserve it. This week we're going to talk about everything Antonio Brown and what he's been up to. All 4,000 crazy things he's done in the last 72 hours. Also, why Skip Bayless is a shitty Cowboys fan. Some dumb Patrick Mahomes takes from Skip. How Will Cain knows nothing about quarterbacks. And one of our guests had a crazy rumor he found deep on the internet that gets real juicy. Also, we talk about Skip's favorite movie. That's going to be real fun for you guys. And my guests are wonderful. Comedian friends of mine, Tess Barker and Sean Green. They're absolutely wonderful and so funny. You guys are going to love them. And they happen to be married, and it's so that's a unique little spin for this guy, huh? Getting a married couple on here. I get two Eagles fans coming at me. They're absolutely wonderful. You guys are gonna have a great time listening to them. It was really fun having them. And before we get into it, I was actually this weekend in the mountains for my friend David Huntsberger, his 40th. He was the first and second guest of the show. And it was a group of comedians and some other fellas, and really fun time, but we had no reception, so I had to scramble to get all my notes together because I missed a lot of stuff, and it was just so funny because while we were out in the mountains, not with no Wi-Fi, the one bit of information I got while I was there was that Antonio Brown had been released, but then we got no further details, which was maddening. But it was a really good time. I learned that I am not good at hiking, and I had to abandon a hike, and I got super lost, and I thought I was going to be killed by a mountain lion. Also, a mouse shit in my mouth. That's debatable, but it probably happened. He was sleeping right above me, staring at me, talking shit all night. Anywho, the thing that bothers me most this week, Skip Bayless is just the worst fanatic imaginable. It's evidenced by his Twitter account during a Cowboys game. Just tune into it. It's so frustrating to watch him in action like throughout a game because he'll just talk up the opponent so that he can hedge his bets. And then if anything bad happens during the game, he's like, well, we're going to lose. He just turns on his team so fucking quickly. He's so quick to sell out his own team. So while we played the Dolphins, who we should have just destroyed by, I think, a lot more than we did, I think this game actually revealed that we're not as great as, he and some other idiots were saying we are. During the game, it goes from like, oh, man, I think the Dolphins are kind of better than than we give them credit for, to panic like, fuck, we're going to lose. I knew it. The Dolphins are so good. It's the greatest team of all time. To, I knew we were going to win. And then just bragging. It's such a weird, dumb roller coaster. Like he just, who was that coach that said, don't hit send. You're supposed to not hit send. Just think about your tweets. Skip clearly does not think about, I guess he doesn't think about anything, but Skip is just a child with access to the internet, and he shouldn't be allowed to have Twitter. Also, he makes it sound like, he ended his whole tirade during the Cowboys game, his little live tweet action with, how about them Cowboys, which is not original. It's not his quote. Jimmy Johnson probably hates him. Why are you bragging? We beat the Dolphins. It's like saying we beat a high school team at this point. It's sad. We should have actually beaten him by much more. But it's just so weird that he started out with, I'm afraid of the Dolphins, to, we won. Fuck yeah, I knew it. Fuck you, you garbage, shitty sack of crap. God, okay. There it is. There's the anger. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's get mad about all these buffoons. Get ready. Here come the guests. And I am back with my guests, Tess Parker and Sean Green, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, what's happening?
Not much. I'm excited. This is a first. I've never had a married couple on the show.
Oh, wow.
Thought we'd mix it up.
Yeah.
From now on, we'll only have
Only married couples.
comedian couples.
Yeah.
Before we get started and get into like being angry at a buffoon, a little bit about you guys, of course. You both have amazing podcasts. I've been on your podcast, Lady to Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Guess I'm reverse plugging things, but
I'll take it.
Yeah, you can plug it up top and in the back end, but it's always well, I guess you set it up.
Yeah, Lady Lady, it's a comedy podcast. I host it with Barbara Gray and Brandy Posey, and we have a fourth guest on. It's just like a fun comedy podcast.
Yeah, I don't remember what wild, weird stories I told on there, but it was I really enjoyed.
I love a Doug anecdote, so I think we just had you on.
I'm an idiot.
I think
Weird things happen to me.
Did you save a celebrity from fainting in a CVS or something?
Oh yeah, Robert Patrick, the guy that played the T-1000. He passed out when I was going to buy some booze, and I was like, "Oh, that's the Terminator. I don't want that guy to die."
Terminator needs your help.
Yeah. So if we were all doomed by robots, it was my fault. And Sean, you've actually got a sports gambling podcast. That's
do.
actually the name, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very easy to figure out what it's about. It's called the Sports Gambling Podcast.
It's about guns and pies.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hiking podcast. Yeah, I mean, we just talk about spreads, huge into football, college football, NFL, picking games, fantasy, daily fantasy. So,
All the
a little
stuff
bit of
that
everything.
These people.
Anything, really.
Golf. You talk about golf on there sometimes, right?
Yeah. Gambling's a year-round sport now, so we're in it deep.
I already have so many questions. I was just realizing this past weekend there were like two record Miami. What was it? Miami and New England's games.
Yes. Miami and the Jets, two of the highest NFL spreads of all time.
Right.
And they both won, and they both covered the spread. Or no, actually, sorry, New England didn't cover.
Whoa, that's right.
Yeah.
Versus Luke Falk.
Yeah, but it was like
what was the final? What were they getting?
the Jets were getting 23.5 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So they won 30-16 or 30-14, so they didn't cover. But if you bet $100 and parlayed both games, like if you thought the Jets and the Dolphins were going to win, $100 bet on just those two NFL outcomes, you'd win $26,000.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
So I put $100 on it just to see what would happen.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wait. So what was the outcome with your $100?
They lost.
If
They had
they-
to win. Both of them had to win outright.
Yeah. Ah, man. Shit.
So it was impossible, but it is the NFL. Kind of anything can happen. That's why the NFL is so interesting and exciting. So you're never going to have that. I mean, we'll see how the rest of the season shakes out, but to have a chance to win that much money off just two NFL outcomes is an insane historic thing.
Man. Yeah, I almost put money on the Miami Cowboys game, but I was in the wilderness and really had no cell phone reception until like midway. I had Antonio Brown on a fantasy football
It's been a
lineup.
wild ride.
Yeah.
So
like-
you said you heard that was the one piece of information you got in the
Yeah,
wilderness?
so I was in the mountains for 3 days, and at one point, there was a place where you could check into their Wi-Fi, but it was down at the time, and so we didn't really get to check much until the end of the trip, but the only thing I heard, one person got to go on for like 5 seconds, and he just screams, "Antonio Brown was cut!" And then it just spread throughout all of the cabins, and like went back to the cabin, told all my buddies, and people were freaking out. But what was weird was that was all we got. And then you have so many follow-up questions. But
because this year it could mean anything.
Yeah. And like in an hour, that there's been 400 new Antonio Brown stories. So it was like, wow. So, that was like, what day was that? Like Friday or something. So it was like by Sunday morning when I'm going to have reception again, he's probably going to be dead or killed somebody or like.
Or vice president.
My cousin kept trying to trade for Antonio Brown earlier in the week. And he had already sent the trade request, and then I tried to go in and approve it before he saw the news, but he saw it before it went through.
Oh, thank God. So you guys just had your 1 year wedding anniversary.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I thought we would talk a little bit. I always throw out something personal. One of my wedding vows, and I whispered this to her because it felt like I shouldn't say this out loud with like old people here, you know. I whispered, I promise to stop. She goes crazy when I'm peeing, and I don't know what this is, but I absentmindedly every time will flush in the middle of the pee.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
leave a
then
little
there's
left over.
yeah, so there's no point in peeing because there's still just old piss, you know.
Yeah.
That
So-
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of my vows.
Did you make good on that?
I would say it's about at 50-50.
Okay.
Do you do that, Sean? Like, is
No, I don't. I flush after every time, but
Yeah.
I do have quirky habits, so I feel you there.
I definitely know some other guys that do, and I don't know why I do it. It doesn't make any sense. It's not. I'm on autopilot. I just hit it, and I'm like, wow, fuck, what was? And now it's like the ante is up. You know, I'm just like, oh, I broke a vow.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was weird when I whispered it. You know, she laughed, and then the whole crowd laughed, but they have no idea.
Yeah.
I assume they thought it was something sexual. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which made it weird after the fact. I was like, oh, I bet they thought it was something about sex, which is really weird when, you know, again, older people are there. Did you guys have any
Grandpa's like, oh, he's keeping up those sex
Oh man,
vows.
these married people have sex.
Well, that was the first time was that night. As I'm sure you guys were
Yeah.
all.
It was cool to try it.
So now that I've, you know, broken this vow, I'm worried, you know, is that a slippery slope into other vows, you know?
Well, I think the fact that you didn't say it technically in front of everyone else,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like an addendum vow.
Yeah. That could have been anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bonus vow, so I wouldn't count it as part of your main vows.
Did you guys have any weird comedic vows, or was it all pretty?
We did more like the jokey stuff. We each did like neither of us had written our vows the night before. Like we said, we didn't see each other. We saw each other at the rehearsal dinner, and then we slept different places. So we hadn't written them yet, and we were like,
Yeah.
okay, kind of funny part up top, a few different things, and then
Right.
we specified how many vows we were gonna have.
Yeah, so they would match.
Yeah, so they would match.
nice.
So we did more of the funny stuff, like in the speech leading up to the vows.
Oh, sure.
And then our vows weren't. I don't think that we had anything really like jokey. I said I would always be happy when the Eagles won.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But that was serious.
Yeah. Right.
We had the woman, we had a harpist at our wedding, and she played the Eagles fight song as like that
Oh,
was
no
something I
way.
walked down to. And that's pretty funny in and of itself. But the better part was when we asked for her to learn the song, she didn't have to learn it. She already knew the Eagles fight song.
No
because
way.
her husband, who was also the guitar player at the wedding, he was also a huge Eagles fan. So she had
Oh, my
already
God.
learned
Yeah.
the Eagles fight song.
They were excited to have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. You might have. I had Blake Wexler on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was an Eagles fan, but now he's just.
We've
garbage.
been to
we're
Eagles
battling
games with
it out.
Blake. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Oh, he's the best. He's
It's
so
the
funny.
kind of thing I feel like being an Eagles fan. I mean, are there casual Eagles fans?
I think you guys are really intense. 'Cause
Yeah.
Blake is also very. Did you guys climb poles and stuff? Did you do any?
No, but I did go to the Super Bowl parade. I
nice.
did go there. Yeah.
Very cool.
That was a real shit show, as you could imagine.
Yeah. I saw some videos.
It was just standing outside the art museum steps for 9 hours watching people. It's probably the most urine an art museum has ever seen. I don't know if there's some sort of record, but then a lot of people fighting each other and then breaking it up with like, we're supposed to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was as you'd expect, but it was awesome.
So funny that when there's a celebration and there are fights at a
Oh, yeah.
celebration.
Well, you get a bunch of drunk Eagles fans.
Yeah.
You get-
Yeah.
Eventually, people are going to step on each other, and there's this one woman accused another woman of being typical Philly trash. Now, this was just
Wow.
after she had urinated in a red Solo cup, and I'm still looking for an answer to this even now, because she urinated in the red Solo cup, and it's not like she went and found a toilet to put it in.
Yeah.
She just like walked over a little bit and poured it on the grass. It's like you
could have
didn't
just
need
urinated on the grass.
Yes, you didn't
Oh
need
my
to pee in
God.
the cup.
That is
So
incredible.
still
That's
trying
what
to
I
figure
love
that
about
out.
Philly is they lean into being obnoxious.
And
Yes.
this was not the trash woman. This was the accused.
No, she was accusing another
yeah,
woman
yeah.
of being trash. I forget what that woman did.
Oh man, yeah, I
You
really
can only
wanna know what-
imagine.
Yeah, good lord. Oh, and a little tip for all you lovebirds out there: you guys stayed in separate places the night before the
We did.
wedding.
Yeah.
We did that as well, which was like we didn't do a lot of super traditional stuff, but we thought that'd be fun or whatever.
Us too, yeah.
Yeah, but we had a buddy that was in handcuffs in the middle of the night, and being in separate rooms caused a lot of problems. So if you guys have any troublemakers you're friends with, it's better to just stay in the one room.
Who had to bail him out? Not you guys.
No, like he was actually a hero. A female friend of ours that was at the wedding was attacked
Oh, geez.
Oh, man.
in the streets of Santa Fe.
Whoa.
Which is probably never happened. I don't know if they've had it. There's no one. I remember I went an hour early home from we had a big party with like the band that was performing at a party. They performed the night before at this bar off the plaza there. And I remember walking back to my hotel room by myself and looking around, and I thought, oh, what a great moment I have to myself for the first time in like a week. And like it
Yeah.
was so serene. And I just took a deep breath and then like an hour later, I can't sleep. I'm rolling around, you're just kind of getting ramped
Yeah.
up for the wedding. And Flynn calls and she's like crying, and I won't say the name, but she was like, so-and-so's in handcuffs. And I was like, what the fuck? And a friend of mine had been attacked by this guy that was kind of like hovering around a couple people all night. Just the second I saw him, I was like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
But I also knew I shouldn't say anything to this guy because
you definitely couldn't be in
I don't want to be. And so I was like, it's fine. There's 100 of us or whatever. It's all good. And then sure enough, that guy like attacked this female friend of mine, and then like drug her to the ground. And my buddy just started beating the crap out of him, and it's getting really intense. and then two of his friends jumped on him, and they were all in cuffs. And Flynn was like in this beautiful dress and just like crying, and it's like 3 a.m. or whatever.
Oh, man.
And like the night, we have to be up in a few hours
Yeah.
for the big day, and like and my buddy was like in handcuffs, like, just go home, just go back to the room, don't worry about me. It was
Yeah,
like-
he doesn't want to be a bother.
yeah, and like and again, like he did the right, like
Yeah.
he stood up and like took care of, like it could have been much worse. And he apologized all the next day. I was like, dude,
Aw.
Yeah.
it would have been so bad had you not done what you
Stepped in.
did.
Yeah,
like,
jeez.
you're a
Crazy.
hero. Like, stop. Anyway, such a weird thing though, because she's like calling me, and I'm like, well, do you want me to come to your room? She's like, you can't see me. And I'm like, but you're crying. And
At what point do you say fuck it?
yeah. And it's like we stood by it, but then, like I really can't sleep after that, because I'm like, oh God,
man.
what happened exactly?
Just completely
Oh my
amped up.
God.
Yeah. So, oh boy.
Maybe that, I'm just trying to be positive, but maybe that helped distract you from any wedding nerves.
True. Yeah. I definitely didn't think about anything else. I was just like, I hope everybody's okay, and fuck those idiots.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's get into me getting angry. And that's just because I hate Skip Bayless so much. Which sucks, because I shouldn't give him this much attention, but that's kind of what the whole podcast is. But
How do you feel about Joe Buck? Sean hates
Joe Buck, you don't like the guy?
Well, I think he's a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
But really, I've leaned into enjoying the Joe Buck Sucks Facebook page.
Right. Oh,
and
man,
it's
I
just
haven't done
been,
it yet.
I found it one day, and it's just been, it's been just a joy.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things I like on Facebook. I got a Joe Buck Sucks beer koozie that I break out.
Oh,
and
my
it's like,
God.
I just kind of wasn't a huge fan, but now I've just enjoyed the Joe Buck Sucks Facebook page so much.
Oh,
And then
wow.
every once in a while, like when a tragedy strikes on a national stage, the Joe Buck Sucks, they'll take a moment to reflect and be like, all right, guys, we saw what happened in Sandy Hook, so we can just take a break of making fun of Joe Buck
Oh,
for
my
this
God.
small.
Wow.
Oh.
So is that how you feel about Skip Bayless? Is he your Joe Buck?
Yeah, he's my Joe Buck for sure.
Well, and he was always a Cowboys guy, right?
Skip Bayless, yeah. And
Or
that's
is.
what's funny is like he loves the Cowboys. He lives and breathes the Cowboys, but they all hate him. Like I'm for sure. Like he had rumors about Troy Aikman being gay in the '90s when they were winning Super Bowls and started that whole thing. And Troy Aikman is outwardly just still disgusted by him to this day. Like, because he got hired over at Fox like a few years ago, and Troy Aikman did not want him to be. Not that they work together in any way, but technically they're on the same.
Just to be clear, I'm not doing any.
Yeah. And so Skip has to bother him so much.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
If you're a Cowboys fan, you like Troy Aikman is your guy, right?
Oh yeah. He's him and Staubach, and I loved Romo. I thought that guy was underrated, but yeah, Troy's the guy. Yeah, that's such a weird whole. He's just the biggest shitbag. And Joe Buck, I don't really have it. It's not either way. It's not like I love the guy, but I honestly like when I heard about his addiction to hair plugs and stuff.
Yeah,
I actually kind of felt kind of sad for him. I was like,
that was a pretty funny story when that came out.
Yeah, it was like, but it was just like he felt so much weird, intense scrutiny, and it was just like, oh man, this is fucked up. Like,
was there a think piece or something about it?
He wrote it in his biography because he was like getting all these hair plugs done, and then something went wrong with one of the hair plug insulation, and his vocal cords got completely like they got like temporarily paralyzed. Whoa. So there was like a week where he couldn't talk, and he was like completely losing his mind because it's his whole livelihood. Yeah. And then eventually came back, and he was just he comes off as sympathetic, but I still dig deep and find a reason not to like him.
Yeah. No, I get it. Anybody in sports, if you don't. It's so weird. Even if you just don't like their voice, it's like, fuck this idiot. I hate this guy so much.
Well,
you got to
especially
listen to him
you're
for 3
listening
hours.
to them in like high intensity situations,
I
think too.
Yeah. I want to kick it off by talking about how shitty a fan Skip Bayless is of the Cowboys.
Okay.
As Penny goes to get all the toys out of her basket to show off to you guys. The dog is going nuts. That's what you hear if you hear anything in the background. So Skip Bayless... This is just the worst type of fan to me. So he is a Cowboys fan, like you guys are saying. And a friend of mine pointed this out. He was on Twitter, I guess right before the game, and he tweets throughout the game, and he lets his like emotions loose, and then he'll just tweet before he even thinks, like he just reacts. But he'll shit all over like LeBron James or somebody else if they do an emotional kind of like gut reaction tweet.
Yeah.
But he can do it all he wants. But his first, so I'm just going to do a little timeline, not all of them because he tweeted like 500 tweets, but he tweeted, I'll admit I'm weirdly nervous about today's Cowboys game. Just too easy. I was there the day Leon let blunder happen. So he's saying he's nervous for a team coming up. Good
Thanks,
God.
Penny.
Penny's getting nervous. They were beaten, I think, 59-10 by Baltimore, and then 43-0 by New England.
Yes.
And the whole thing is he has to hedge his bets. Like he has to just talk up the other team, no matter how bad they are. So in case they lose, he can see that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And, like,
See, I
it's
was
one
nervous.
Yeah.
It's one thing to not want to jinx it.
Yeah.
But going in, you kind of, you're not
just commit.
Yeah, how can you expect the athletes to commit if you can't commit?
Yeah. Like, but throwing in Leon Lett a million years ago.
It was one of my greater Thanksgivings as a child.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because,
yeah.
Because the Cowboys were so good when I was growing up, it really made life miserable.
Yeah.
And but that one colossal failure on Thanksgiving Day was so great.
It was the worst. I was a kid and just so it ruined our whole thing.
And there was just something so well. First off, there was a snowstorm in Dallas, which was on Thanksgiving, which is pretty odd.
Yeah.
And then they're playing the Dolphins, who are like such a warm weather team.
Yeah.
And then they have the field goal blocked. Basically, all they need, they don't do anything, and they win the game. But Leon Lett decides to try and recover the fumble. He knocks it over. They get the ball back. They get another chance at the field goal.
It was one of the most boneheaded idiot. It was weird though because it kind of almost became embraced after a few years of letting the heat die down. He was. Well,
Leon Lett got into some wild stuff afterwards. Have you heard about his post-career life?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him, and if it's not, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure it was pretty sure it was Leon Lett that was arrested for like over 200 pounds of marijuana.
yeah.
Some like comically large amount of weed that he was driving around and distributing.
It's funny because that could be any of dozens of Cowboys from that era.
Sure.
It felt like, every other week.
Oh yeah,
Either
Michael Irvin.
Mark Tuaney overdosed from heroin. When I grew up I was in Plano, which is just north of Dallas. There was like heroin was rampant.
Yeah.
And that was right when he died. There was a lot. They were just.
Well, they had that place. What was it called? The White House, where it was like Michael Irvin and all those guys partying, and then Irvin got in trouble for cocaine and prostitutes, and then he like wore this crazy fur coat to his trial. Oh man, been following his work for a long time.
Yeah, he is even stranger now. Going back to Skip's dumb tweets, so he keeps upping it, and he says the Cowboys. Oh, I love bad jokes by him. His next tweet: the Cowboys pass rush, more of a hush, is really starting to concern me. It's like, what any attempts of humor by him are just so horrible. Then he goes on to say, if Fitzmagic stays in, this is trouble. Like he's being scared by Ryan Fitzpatrick, who should scare no one. The week before, he had said he wouldn't be able to sleep at night because of Case Keenum.
Haunting Case Keenum.
Well, just the idea of saying if anyone stays in, this is trouble. Like, assume they're gonna stay in.
Yeah. If they're in the game, assume. But it's just like if this is your team, and on the show he predicted they would win. Like he always gives, he's opposite Shannon Sharp. He always gives him shit about not having what he calls the courage of his convictions. But it's like, but you're like nervous about what could be historically the worst team ever as of right now. Like
you're at home.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Then he said, pretty soon the Cowboys are going to wake up and start taking the Dolphins dead seriously, and realize they're in grave danger of suffering an historically embarrassing home upset. It's so he starts to already kind of like, oh, we're gonna lose.
How long? What's the timeline like before the game?
Well, this is getting into like middle of the game.
Okay.
Like he's getting now. This has
the Cowboys were up like a lot. Right?
No, it was close like in the first half, and then they like pulled away.
Okay.
Because I remember like when we got in the car to come out of the mountains. It was 10-6, and I was like, "What the fuck? It should be 30-0 right now."
There is that weird thing as a fan where when you're so heavily favored, you can only screw it up, right?
Yeah.
So it is, and even when you beat the Dolphins, you're like, "Yeah, you should have." There's the Dolphins, so you can only not enjoy it, right? Because even if they win, you're not really enjoying it.
Yeah.
You can only be extremely disappointed, which is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, like. Because, you have to stomp them. Ideally, it's like we have to beat them more than 59-10 or more than 43. Like, you want to
before you like really can celebrate. And that's when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017. A thing that was really enjoyable.
2018.
Well,
it was a 2017 year,
season,
but we got married the same year the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Oh, that's rad.
So the 2017 season leading up to the 2018 Super Bowl, it was great there when they embraced the underdog role. You know, they were the number one seed still, but everyone was doubting them with Nick Foles. So it was so fun as a fan because, it was like they were playing with the house's money, and it's like they weren't even supposed to win this game. They no shot against the Patriots.
That was a nail biter like the whole season. You never really felt good like they for sure had, especially going against New England. Who beats New England?
Yeah, like once Foles went out, once Wentz went out, I was like, oh, well, this is done. Yay, Cowboys. And then it was just like, fuck, week after week.
I had been at a wedding that weekend, and he and his family went to that game.
Yeah,
because they were playing the Rams.
Yeah, and I come back from this wedding, and his whole family's drunk at our house, oh, it's over. Wentz is injured, and I was like, it's not over. I'm like, we got the Raiders next week, and then after that, we had another easy team, and I was like, you could do worse than Nick Foles. I was like, you guys are being all gloomy for no reason. Who was right? Me.
Well, this was real quick Nick Foles sidebar story when.
Something about his big dick?
Oh, yeah, exactly. He's a giant cock. Huge fan. When Chip Kelly traded away Nick Foles for Sam Bradford, I hate Sam Bradford.
Butt fumble.
We have a...
I mean, that's Mark Sanchez. Sorry.
Yeah. But they're both Yeah.
There's a drop on our sound on our podcast that we play of me going, Sam Bradford is not a franchise quarterback, and so the Eagles trade for him, and I'm so annoyed. And I was always a big Nick Foles guy, and I was so pissed. And I had Nick Foles jersey, and then I was like, all right, I'm donating this to charity. And Tess goes, well, why are you donating that? You never know what could happen. He could somehow end up on the Eagles again. I'm like, Tess, you don't know how football works. You don't just trade your starting quarterback and then he ends up being your. I go, the scenarios that would have to happen where I would want to wear a Nick Foles jersey again, it's just never going to happen.
Oh my God.
So I donate the jersey not thinking anything of it. And then even when they re-signed him, you thought like, oh, well, whatever. When am I actually going to want to rock the Nick Foles jersey as a backup quarterback? And then, of course, he comes in and, my wife was right.
Becomes a fucking hero.
Exactly.
The players
Important
built a
lesson. Your wife
shrine
was
to
right.
him. I did in that Super Bowl, though, for sure root for you guys because no one likes the goddamn Patriots.
And that's what I love is as a country, we can all agree that no one likes the Patriots.
Yeah.
Fun team to root against.
Which is funny. Like, as Americans, we can all hate the Patriots. Skip just kind of kept going on and patting it and just, now this has disaster written all over it. We're giving the Dolphins confidence. And then just, and then it starts turning the other way. And then by the end, he's like, how about them Cowboys? Like all caps, 1,000,000 exclamation points. And it's like, you were saying they were going to fucking lose basically. And now you're all about it. Go fuck yourself. I just, it almost feels like fair weather fan within your, like a game to where you're just twisting and turning. And it's like, you can be nervous, but like I was nervous when I saw the score and I got in the car.
Yeah.
But I was like, they'll
He's just
figure it out.
emotionally hedged out, which is really annoying.
Yeah,
he has no
yeah.
skin in the game.
Exactly. Because,
Yeah.
you have to put yourself out there, or what do you have to lose?
Yeah. Good God. So this week, we have to talk about Antonio Brown because he's insane.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of news, obviously. But the thing is, this podcast is centered around the dumb things these guys say. But there's not really much to disagree about Antonio Brown. Like, he is nuts, and it's all nuts. But so to rope it in, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Shannon Sharp, who was opposite of Skip Bayless this weekend, was brought into the mix by Antonio
Yeah, I
Brown.
saw
Did you see
that.
that? Yeah, he tweeted. I don't know how this even
basically,
started.
so Antonio Brown, they're trying to avoid his guaranteed money, and then he's like, "That's it, I'm done with the NFL. They can just void these guarantees." It's like, well, yeah, because you're doing insane shit.
Yeah.
And
He asked to be cut by the Raiders.
exactly, he released a video with John Gruden's like wiretapped conversations.
Yeah.
So he's gone down a very weird role. So then he was just basically trying to throw everyone else under the bus. He was basically like Tekashi 6ix9ine on the witness stand, just turning on everyone. And yeah, he threw Shannon under the bus. I forget what he
I
dug
don't know
up
what
on him.
Shannon said, but he just put out there. Shannon talked a little shit on him, deserved shit.
Yeah.
This guy's done it all to himself. And by the way, Ryan Leaf chimed in. Like, man, this is self-sabotage if I've ever seen it. And that guy really, Ryan Leaf was like a number 1 overall pick that ended up he became a bust, but then ended up stealing pills out of people's bathrooms in South Dakota or something. Took a real
He's
down.
calling someone out for self-sabotage?
Yeah, he was calling Antonio Brown out. So it's like,
What do you think? Do you think it was just he really did snap and there's no rhyme or reason?
it's some sort of mental illness, CTE, or I think ego is definitely involved. There's he loves himself some him, but on top of that, there's got to be. None of it's such erratic, bizarre behavior.
Well, yeah, I think it's just it's tough because whatever. I'm not a mental health person, but I think these guys get in a position where they don't think there are any consequences, or it's tough because when you're growing up and you are this dominating athlete, the world kind of is just like, well, hey, let him do whatever he wants. Let him do whatever he wants, and then all of a sudden people check you on your behavior. This woman comes out, she accuses of something, and then this other woman, there's a story with the art dealer. And she said he exposed himself and did some weird stuff. I mean, there was one where he was farting on women. That was one of the accusations.
Oh, well, I heard the farting on the doctor. I didn't hear the fart.
Was that okay? That's what it was. Sorry.
I love that there's so much out there.
It's just a cavalcade of stuff.
He was a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's finding new ways to cause issues. And then I think the Patriots were willing to like, hey, stuff happened in the past. It's in civil lawsuit. We'll see what happens with that. They'll investigate further. But then this other thing came out with Sports Illustrated, and he was contacting the woman and like, talking more shit to this second woman, and he was doing that as a Patriot. So they were like, you have to go.
It's fucking insane.
It's very bizarre.
And not only did he just start outing with Shannon Sharp, he just posted either a headline or a link to, I guess Shannon Sharp was accused of like rape or some sort of allegation, which it seems like he was pretty easily cleared and like, but it was just weird that he was like, look, he did this. But it's like, well, but you're still in the middle of your thing. Why? Like,
yeah, it's like no
accountability in any way. And then he went down from there. I think he posted something about Big Ben. But then, he threw him under the bus. He talked about, like, what about Robert Kraft and getting that handy in Florida or whatever. It's just like...
See, we're all raping.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, we're all doing it. We're good. I'm canceled out. It's fine. And then I guess Robert Klemko, who works for Sports Illustrated Online or whatever, I guess he was being threatened by people that were fans of the Patriots because he brought up the second, like... the art dealer woman or whatever.
He did a bunch of like more digging and kind of found this pattern of this behavior.
Yeah.
But it's like the Patriots didn't need him. That's the other thing. Like,
but they're the fucking Of course they wanted
yeah.
him. He's the perfect candidate for the Patriots.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a meme that they had a murderer on their team longer than they had Antonio Brown, which is pretty funny. And I also saw somebody sent me a YouTube clip of every Antonio Brown Patriots touchdown ever, and it's just one touchdown. So funny.
Man.
By the way, so the latest thing with Antonio Brown, and again, we were like in the woods, we hear the one thing, and then we know, fuck, by the time we get to civilization, like so much has happened, And sure enough, so many things. And the latest, I don't know if you guys, this might have been just a few hours ago, he registered for classes. He's going
back to school.
Wow.
Like,
do we know what he's majoring in?
No, I did get his class list. Also, can you imagine that guy in your class?
Oh, man.
That wouldn't be distracting at all. Good God. Yeah, I mean, do you think he's actually gonna go to school? Like... He's taking...
He doesn't really... If he didn't follow through with being a professional athlete, he didn't want to practice in the NFL. I don't think he's going to wake up for an 8 a.m. class at Western Michigan or wherever.
I don't know. He seems pretty disciplined to me. He's taking a technical writing class, a religion class titled Death and Dying.
Whoa.
Whoa, that says something. I did not pay attention to that till just now, but whew.
Someone should probably be looking into that.
Yeah. And then a course on racism and inequality.
There you go.
Okay, if I have what I'm getting from that is he's gonna start a blog.
Oh God, I will subscribe for sure.
Brown's blog.
He'd be smart to do it. Yeah.
Well, man, and to out all these people and out your ex-quarterback and the owner that had just taken a chance on you when you were looking pretty bad. Hey, what about Robert Kraft and his hand job? Which that story had just finally died down. Robert Kraft probably was like, thank you, Antonio Brown. That's probably why he signed him. He was like, oh, you're such a fucking distraction.
Heat off me.
Yeah, nobody's thinking about what I'm doing. But it just feels like he was already pretty fucked. But the NFL is so horrible about giving guys 10 chances unless you kneel for an anthem. But but like with him... It was like, I'm sure he'll get another chance, but who's going to take you now that you're outing everyone?
It might be hard. He might not actually be back because for him to, like, be back, he would have to go through the commissioner's exempt list. They'd
Yep.
have to do the full investigation, clear him, decide how many games they're going to suspend him if they are, and then, like you said, he's throwing teammates under the bus and owners under the bus. It's like
It's a test in when does your behavior outweigh your skill?
Right,
Because the
right,
NFL
right.
will take that balancing act pretty far.
Yeah.
Also,
Well,
I wonder, this kind of makes me wonder if the helmet stuff was a way for him to kind of try to get out before this other stuff surfaced.
yeah, I think a lot. And
I don't know. Well, that too. Everyone was saying when the helmet thing happened, they're like, "Oh, see, he wanted to end up in New England all along. This is all a part of his plan." And then he gets cut from New England. They're like, "Oh yeah, well maybe he doesn't know what he's doing."
Yeah.
He doesn't have this Machiavellian plan. He's just a crazy person.
One of the guys this weekend was like, they were like, he for sure did that thing to his feet on purpose, right? And I really never thought of that because that seems kind of dangerous. Like you could permanently, but who knows with this guy? Like everything's in the play at this point. Like,
Yeah.
He called Mike Mayock, the general manager of the Raiders, a cracker.
oh yeah, and got in a fucking fist. Good God, think about all
That
of
wasn't
the things.
that wasn't even of all the Antonio Brown thing. How long did it take us to get to the part where he called his boss a cracker and tried to fight him? That wasn't
God.
even in the first 5 minutes.
We need to write out a timeline of
Oh,
all of
man,
the things.
it's
well,
wild.
and now it's lawsuit after lawsuit, and I imagine if these are the things we know about, there's gonna be other people coming forward with other crazy
Well, yeah,
stories. 'cause-
and probably some with legit grievances, other people
For
that just
sure.
oh, well, everyone thinks Antonio Brown sucks. Maybe I'll try and sue him. So
yeah.
he's going to have a lot of legal fees.
Because now, if somebody was like, I don't really want to deal with a lawsuit, now they're like, well, there's all this evidence and all this makes my thing look
Yeah.
pretty good. All right, moving on to some more dumb Skip Bayless crap. Back to, I guess, him hedging his bets. Skip Bayless, we were already talking about it, but he said that the Cowboys wouldn't beat the spread, which again to me is like being a shitty fan. If you're like, no, they can't beat the Dolphins by 21 or whatever. He said they were going to win 34-14. Shannon predicted 45-6. So Shannon had more faith in him this week than Skip did. But it was just, again, like the Twitter tirade where it's excuse after excuse. And like one of my favorite things he said was Devontae Parker. He's pretty good. Like he named like the 3 players they have left that are like
that are still
okay.
want to be a Dolphin.
Yeah, it's just sad. Like again, like your Eagles are pretty banged up, but I'm sure you still got some faith in them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who are you guys playing this week?
We play Green Bay in Green Bay, so that's gonna be a tough game.
That is God. That's
I'll talk myself into it though by Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, that's the great thing about the
See,
Eagles.
that's anti-Skip
They're
Bayless.
great at being dogs, and I think that's maybe a difference between the Eagles and the
Yeah.
Cowboys. Is the Cowboys have never really been dogs, so like I feel like although Eagles fans may talk shit, it comes from a place of love, and it's really with the belief that like they could maybe pull
it's
it off.
a rocky city.
Yeah.
And they have, and it is funny, like when seasons have started out where the expectations have been really high, it's usually doesn't work out as well. Where like their best seasons have been when the expectations are kind of lower or average.
Right.
And,
So that's like part of the culture too, is like not jinxing it.
yeah.
Yeah. When we're in the division where it's every other year.
No
well,
teams
lately
win
it's
back
us,
to back.
and then but it's really so bizarre. Because then you have New England, who's won it every year for
Oh my
40
God.
years now. It feels like.
It's insane.
But yeah,
I
don't
just
think,
can't wait for them to be bad. I'm
I
so
know.
tired of the Patriots. Like every time I see a Patriots game on, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. It's gonna be so boring.
Yeah. I mean, I will watch it just to hope that they lose, but that's so rare now.
Yeah.
And really now at this point, it's just like, I want the Cowboys to win, but my main thing is for the Patriots to not win the Super Bowl. So
It's
I can
everyone's
have,
goal.
it's like one
Well,
collective.
and I think in a weird way, because they didn't need an extra receiving threat. So in a weird way, I was hoping that Antonio Brown would stay on the Patriots and destroy them from
Yep,
the inside. Like they would have this drama the night before the AFC Championship game, or he's
Yep.
throwing his helmet
Yeah.
at halftime or something.
he like throws
and
his
he's-
helmet at Tom Brady's face or something.
Yeah,
He breaks his hand.
Somebody had a great tweet when they cut him because Antonio Brown. They made this news story of Tom Brady was letting him stay in his pool house or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and Someone tweeted out, "Oh, it's going to be awkward at the Brady dinner table tonight."
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that because that's the rape allegations came up when he was like in his guest house, and it's like that's got to be weird with the kids around, like the little Brady kiddos and Giselle.
Tom Brady is like, I'll make you feel better, son. Just come here and give me a kiss.
Oh, that kiss video.
Oh, so odd.
Oh.
Pretty strange.
I showed that to someone for the first time recently, and it was really gratifying because we were hating on Tom Brady, and I was like, oh, you don't know about the kiss video? Sit down.
God, it just really feels like an eternity. The lips just right. It's
So long.
Yeah.
It's a little much.
You gotta have the internal clock as a quarterback,
Yeah.
Right.
When to get rid of the ball, when to stop kissing your son.
Oh my God. What if that's how he kisses all his teammates? Or if he didn't have his helmet on, that's what he'd be doing. Another Skip Bayless idiotic take, and I've talked about this before, but I'm not gonna. If he brings it up, I'm gonna bring it up because it is so dumb. When asked if Patrick Mahomes is an MVP candidate so far, he basically shot it down immediately and propped up Tom Brady and Dak Prescott. And I am a Cowboys fan, and look, Dak has played really well. I am not fully committed to him. This is the best since he's gotten Amari. He has played like he's a different person, but I need to see him do that this whole season. Then I'll finally maybe firmly believe. But because before he was getting like 140 yards a game, and it was just like, dude, like, and he would win a lot of times, but whenever Zeke was out, it would be like 8-8 kind of thing. But I don't know. I to put Dak in that category, especially when we've just played Washington and the Giants and now the Dolphins, is just insane. And this was, I think, after the Week 2 game. So this was like a little bit. This was after Week 2, like before this past game. But he said, Mahomes, I love this because he just sounds so fucking old. He said, Patrick Mahomes is like a Harlem Globetrotter with all his no-look passes and his left hand behind the back. And it's like, yeah, like he did that one time so far, I think.
Yeah.
And
well, also, the Harlem Globetrotters are playing against another team that they pay to lose.
Yeah.
He's doing this against other NFL players that are trying to kill him.
Yeah.
He did it against a very good Ravens defense at home. So, yeah, what a maniac.
Yeah, he said he's turning into a caricature, and he can't win a Super Bowl. You can't win a Super Bowl with Mahomes. But they went to the AFC Championship. And
and if there was that one play where their guy was offside, otherwise they would have been in the Super Bowl.
There's also a coin toss in overtime that could have gone the other. Like, they could have. And that was his first year starting. Dak's had 3 years, and we haven't gone to a Super Bowl. Like,
I mean, Dak's off to a great start. But
he is. But
the media and people in general don't want to give back-to-back MVPs to people, but I mean, you'd be insane not to think Mahomes is the MVP right now.
Yeah.
He threw 4 touchdowns in a quarter.
Yeah. Oh, about that, he said he put up. Listen to this sentence. He put up 4 touchdowns in the second quarter, but he looked ordinary the rest of the game, like because he didn't have to do anything after that.
He was tired.
Yeah. His arm was tired.
Getting 4 fucking touchdowns in one quarter.
From destroying the Raiders.
From putting the nail in the fucking coffin. And then on a Daniel Jones topic, he said Shannon brought up. They were talking about like Daniel Jones, the Giants quarterback, was thrown in over Eli for the first time. He looked pretty good. I only got to see a little bit of it. But Shannon Sharp said Mahomes is the only quarterback that could keep that kind of momentum up. They were basically saying he can't do this every week.
Yeah.
But Skip said, oh, Dak can do it. And again, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm a little reluctant that he's going to be like that. And even against the Dolphins, he didn't look as good as he did week 1, week 2 against the worst team in the NFL. So, but just to even put Dak and Mahomes in the same fucking, like, again, at this point in the season, he is playing great, but no one is doing what Mahomes does.
No.
And like you were saying, like, they don't want to do back-to-back, but when you're dominating that, when you're throwing 7,000 yards a game, I think you can.
He could be on pace. He could be the first guy to hit 60 touchdowns in a season, which is insane.
So fucking crazy. And he's killing every fantasy league. I used to always draft quarterbacks way low because you'd always get a sneaky good. Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins would always do what like.
Well, I mean, right now in fantasy, that kind of is a good strategy because the league's so tilted towards passing yards and passing touchdowns that it doesn't really make sense to get a quarterback early, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes.
But I'm in a bunch of leagues, and I have Mahomes in one league. I'm just dominating.
Yeah, if they do 6-point passing touchdowns, he's huge.
Yep, and all the leagues across that I'm in, whoever has Mahomes is undefeated.
It's crazy.
It's because he's basically like 4 players in one for points almost. It's nuts. Moving on to another jackass. Do either or both of you know who Will Kane is?
Yes.
Tess, Tess. He is like a racist Skip Bayless, like a younger racist Skip Bayless. Real fun guy.
Okay.
So he's even when Skip left ESPN, they were like, we need a Cowboy fan that also is evil and a jackass, and they found this guy, and they're like, oh, he's younger, so he can stay here for a while. Skip's gonna die soon. So Will Kane was arguing in about Daniel Jones. He was saying, so this is obviously last week before they had decided they were going to put him in the game. He said you have to put Daniel Jones in, which I agree with. Like at this point, you're not going to win your fucking games. You might as well throw in the rookie quarterback. But he went on to say, to make his case, when is the last time a quarterback got destroyed for being put in too early? He said you have to go back years to find one. I would argue it happens all the fucking time. Like rookie quarterbacks do get thrown in more and more, and a lot of them do have more success. But Josh Rosen, for example, this past year, Brandon Weeden, Tim Tebow, like some of these guys are just flat out busts. Bortles, Vince Young, RG3, because that was weird circumstances. But Manziel, Joey, anyway, Ponder, Gabbert. And some of these guys are flat out busts, but also like you could argue they were just thrown to the fucking wolves and destroyed. It's just weird to just say. That's such a weird statement of like. He acted like that's never fucking happened, and it's like
the entire game is on your shoulders, and these minis weigh as much as buildings.
A
lot can happen.
Yeah, and sometimes they are just in the wrong fucking place at the wrong fucking time. But
yeah, it is crazy because there is so much to be successful as a quarterback. So much has to go right that it is easy to like get stuck in a shitty situation, especially early on, because if you're a high draft pick, your team probably sucked to begin with to get the high draft pick. So you're dealing with that.
I mean, look at Jared Goff was terrible under Fisher, and then he gets out.
I think that was
he's
just
he's
a
pretty
Jeff
good.
Fisher
yeah,
thing.
and man, how did that guy have a job for so fucking long?
So crazy.
And people have him on like as an analyst here and there, and it's like, why would you listen to that fucking?
He seems
idiot?
like a really nice guy, but just not a good coach.
Really, yeah. Ah, man, his mustache scares me. Will Kane also said, this is just bizarre. This took a real weird turn. I had to like replay it because like, wait, what the fuck is he talking about? I still don't 100% understand. But he was talking about how Cleveland has been so hyped up with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. and all these like free agents that they've gotten. He was talking about how the best teams come out of nowhere. He used the Rams as an example with Jeff Fisher being ousted. Then Sean McVay was out of nowhere. They were good. There was no hype before it. He was saying that the Browns, with all the hype, it's probably going to backfire unless they right this ship now. And this is where it took the weird turn. He made this analogy with this show on Fox News. He's this hardcore conservative. There's a show called Red Eye. Do you guys know what that is at all?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
From it.
Yeah.
Is it just like all the Fox
It was like a
News shows?
comedy
Yes.
show, right?
I think it was. Because I think I had like a non-conservative comic buddy that was on the show, and I was very confused because like, wait, you're gonna be on Fox News? But I think it's
gig's a gig.
Yeah. And but I think he was, kind of like these shows where everybody just yells at each other. I think he was the guy they probably yelled at for that show. But he was saying that Red Eye on Fox News, it was just like he wanted to fork in his. He gets really mad at athletes for when they he hates Kaepernick. Anybody that has a political anything, he gets really angry about. He then forks in his opinion all the time. It's real weird. But he said Red Eye came out of nowhere. It was on at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., but it started having better ratings than primetime CNN shows. So he was saying the Browns have to right this ship or become CNN. And it was just like, what the fuck is
Wow,
this?
Yeah.
there's so many layers to figure out there and like lines to draw to get to that metaphor. And also like CNN is solvent. Like they're doing fine. Like,
yeah. Like, I don't,
Also, generally with an analogy, you want people to. You don't have to explain the reference, right? And the fact that you have to explain that this show's a hit show means it's probably not that much of a hit show if you don't know. Have you seen Red Eye? It's not like, have you seen The Sopranos? It's like, yeah, everyone's seen The Sopranos.
I feel like, and maybe this is just my liberal bias, but I feel like if you polled 100 people and asked them, have you heard of Red Eye and have you heard of CNN?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
More people would have heard of CNN, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, also, who cares about cable TV ratings? Like it's some huge win.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Even if, it's like, all right, what a weird point of pride.
I didn't. Yeah, it was really like what. It was Cleveland Browns centric, I think. But it was like, what was his main point?
The
Was
also
it
like
about-
in a weird way, I also thought the Browns were overhyped.
Oh yeah,
but,
me too.
But you could just say the Browns are overhyped. I don't think they're going to live up to the hype. Here's why. You don't need to also like crowbar in a analogy of a show like it's.
To me,
The
that's
whole-
literally like saying you better watch it. The Coke better watch out, or it's gonna become Pepsi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
I think ESPN is mostly like liberals, and so I wonder if he just was like, this is my way to stick it to my coworkers. Or
I'm
whatever.
sure there's some talking point where they like, okay, Will, we want you to bring in those conservative people because we've gotten accused of being too liberal. He's like, all right, got it. I'll shit on CNN. It's like, no, but we can just. The nice thing about ESPN and sports is like, hey, if I wanted to hear people shit on CNN, there's channels for that. I'm watching this to watch highlights and think about games. all right?
Yeah. Took such a fucking weird turn. Gave me a goddamn headache. Some more like quick takes. Colin Cowherd. I always say coward, which makes sense, but he's like kind of more like a dorky dad. With and when I started doing this podcast, he didn't bother me as much, but now that I have to like look into all these clowns, I'm like, this guy's so fucking irritating. But he said everybody's shitting on Cam Newton all of a sudden, and he's not playing well. But I think he had shoulder surgery. I just think he hasn't come back yet. But he was saying, I guess he's anti-Cam. He was saying that you can't say that they haven't given him weapons, but I feel like that's not at all true. Like he said, look at how well Greg Olsen played. But Greg Olsen plays about 3 games a year, and then he's done for the year. But I just thought that was a weird fucking take that I couldn't name you one great receiver outside of Steve Smith that's ever played with a guy. He's like, who are his receivers this year? I think he has Curtis Samuel and like
DJ Moore.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, I've been a Cam Newton hater as well.
Oh yeah.
Called him Sham Newton 5 years ago. But again, the issue with Cam Newton for me, the history of, I just always thought, again, a little overhyped, underdelivered. And then finally what they had that season where they went to the Super Bowl, and I was like, you know what, Sean? It takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. I'm like, I'm wrong. Cam Newton is the best. He's going to win the Super Bowl. I told my wife to bet on the Panthers. And then he comes out in gold shoes for the warm-up. And I go, oh, no, I'm screwed. I knew it. It was a sign. He's too much of an egomaniac.
Was this Panthers Broncos?
Yes.
That's right. Because this is the last time I've ever bet.
Yeah.
Because I had a good feeling about the Broncos, and I was on my computer about to put in my bet for the Broncos, and Sean came in and he was like, "You're taking the Broncos?" And then like he knows so much more about sports than me, so I changed my bet at the last second, and that's the last time I've ever bet.
As he like digs his Foles jersey out of the trash. Have you talked about that on your sports gambling podcast?
Oh yeah, it all goes in there. But yeah, I mean, Cam, he's just. He's got a lot going on. Like, yeah, he had shoulder surgery twice.
Yeah.
That's why I thought the Panthers were going to struggle this year because they kept saying he was going to be fine. But it's like, dude, his throwing motion is way off. I don't know. He does seem like he's got some confidence issues going on as well. So
yeah, something's going on. He's But I think like Andrew Luck after his shoulder surgery, like it took him a while to like be normal.
Yeah.
So I think it just take time. I think he puts a lot of weird pressure. Man, I don't know. Yeah, it is weird. Like his outfits are being ousted so much that like I don't think that has much to do with your play on the. I don't think you're like on the field like, oh God, what am I gonna wear?
Yeah.
Cam Newton was the one with the watch on the field, right?
No, that was
No, it
Odell.
was Odell.
Oh, that's right.
He got a sponsorship out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Which
maybe
is-
that was a good move.
I mean, I guess, but it's just so weird. It feels like I'm so rich, I can just wear this $350,000 watch and have it destroyed on the field. I don't even need it, or I don't know what like the angle is. So it feels like once you get the endorsement deal, it's like, wait, do you need the money? Did you need the free watch? I don't know.
Receivers, man, they just got to make it about themselves.
God.
It's like a thing as old as time. Like they just, I don't know. It's a weird. I don't know if the position draws those type of guys or vice versa, but it just seems so common that the receivers, because they need someone to throw them a ball, so
Yeah.
they're like constantly craving the attention
Yeah.
to get involved in the game and get the ball thrown to them. So I think it just kind of, I don't know if it's like Andrew Dice Clay, where they started out as like, hey, I'm going to do this to get attention, and then they become that person.
Yeah. I think Odell should have to only catch with one hand. That'd be great. Another Will Kane dumb take. He said they're discussing whether Eli Manning should be a Hall of Famer. He says yes because he won 2 Super Bowls. Hands down, he should get it. And then he did the dumb thing where he said, the Hall of Fame's not the Hall of Statistics. Because somebody brought up that, like, Tony Romo, like, who's better, Eli or Romo? Because Romo was, like, statistically better, maybe. But I think there are some people that didn't win a Super Bowl, like Marino, T.O. There are, like, so many countless players. It's just a
Warren
fucking...
Moon.
Yeah, Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, Fran Tarkenton. Probably half or more, because you don't win that many, like...
It's only been 53.
Yeah, like...
It's only so many to go around. Yeah, and for the argument against Eli is 116 and 116. Like, it's just weird to put in a quarterback with like a 500 record.
Yeah. Guys, before we move on, unfortunately, Tess has to go because she's got another podcast to do. So, first of all, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
You're the best. I always love seeing you. And, again, anything else you want to play? Obviously, Lady to Lady.
Lady Lady's great. I have another podcast called Britney's Gram. That's a deep dive on Britney Spears' Instagram.
Oh, my God. And you guys have been busy.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Listen to that for updates.
Good God. Were you, I guess, at the rally? I haven't seen the latest on all
I
that
was
stuff.
at court reporting on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, I need to talk to you off air about that at some point because I have so many questions.
Yeah,
but,
it's wild.
And also, you've done some undercover reporting before.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Why don't you enroll in an Antonio Brown class?
Oh, shit.
Oh, that would be awesome.
If anyone wants to fund that, I love going undercover. I love a shenanigan. So
Do you like Central Michigan? I
I
believe
could.
that's where it was.
Yeah, if there was enough adrenaline involved.
God, we'd have to send you with a bodyguard, I think.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, hey, thank you so much for being on. And yeah, that was awesome. And it's weird, like midway, like, stay right, Sean, don't move. Tess, see you later.
Thanks for having me.
Another dumb Will Kane take. He said, Marcus Mariota, it's not him, it's the scheme. And they have not put him in a position to win. And he needs to do the air raid. And I just think he's a bad quarterback.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota just doesn't look like he has it, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, and he's also injured all the time. I feel like air raid would actually be maybe worse for him. Be running around a little bit more, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I think
he
he's
doesn't
just not
need to
good.
be throwing the ball more often. That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
Marcus
yeah.
Mariota. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not... yeah, he doesn't need to be throwing 70 times a game.
That's the problem is he doesn't. Yeah, he's not good at throwing.
Yeah, he has accuracy problems. You need to be super accurate in the air. I don't get that at all.
I feel like now it's so weird to see Josh Rosen abandoned after one season, and then you see like Jameis Winston and Mariota. They're like, we're not gonna give him a 5th-year option. They're gonna let him like linger, but like I feel like some guys in Tennessee probably year 2 were like, We should fucking cut bait with this guy.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. With Rosen, it's crazy because you got rid of your coach, right?
Yep.
So you admitted, like, hey, this guy didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
We're firing him after 1 year.
And their offensive line is terrible, too.
Yeah, and why not just keep Josh Rosen around? That never really made sense to me.
Yeah, and then he went to the Dolphins, and they were like, let's not start him. Like, see what you got. You're not going to fucking win regardless.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if Josh Rosen's going to be good, but he at least, like, deserves more time in the league to possibly figure it out.
Yeah, just, again, they will hang on to guys forever. It feels like quarterbacks will get chance after chance after chance, like Mariota. But there are guys that will get, like, go to a second team, and, Bradford will go to fucking 10 fucking teams.
Dude, how
get
did
all these chances.
He was the craziest. We did the math, and it's like him and Joe Thomas, the guy played tackle for the Browns for years. But Sam Bradford was like $111 million, or no, even more, because he got like $20 million this past year from the Cardinals. And never took a playoff snap. It's just insane.
He's probably getting money from like 4 different teams still right now.
Oh, man.
He's probably.
It's so good to be Sam Bradford. I'm so jealous.
Oh, God, his eyes are too close together. All right, let's move on to the most embarrassing shit that they've said this week. One thing that happened, Skip Bayless showing off his Lil Wayne fucking necklace. It was brought. Shannon made a comment about it this week, and Skip said, they call me Drip Bayless. And then that went viral. That was the other thing that I saw when I got Wi-Fi for a second this weekend was
I did see that. The Drip Bayless.
Yeah, it was trending, and my phone blew up from people because of the podcast. Like, yo, Drip Bayless. And I was like, what? Like, and then I didn't get Wi-Fi again, and I had to so I haven't fully investigated that, but I think it was just, he was trying to fucking look cool again. God, that just doesn't even sound right coming out of his fucking mouth.
No, not at all.
You're 116 years old. Take that fucking necklace
Bayless.
off. You look ridiculous. And then on his Instagram, my funniest tweet, I guess he just has a couple posts this week, but one, he posted a picture of his tweet, which always bothers me to begin with. And I have probably done that once or twice.
Yes.
But I think we're all guilty here and there. But
yeah, you just scroll his Instagram, and there's so many, so many screen cap tweet posts.
Yeah, he does it. And the one this week was, how about them Cowboys? Which, why would you?
That's what's nice about Instagram is you don't have to do any reading of other people's thoughts or opinions. But then he's bleeding it in.
And it's not his quote. It's quoting Jimmy Johnson from 30 years ago. B, we beat a team that we should have beaten by a lot more. We didn't cover the spread like he said we did cover the spread, but I thought we should have won by more. But it just, and again, you just shouldn't post your fucking tweets, you piece of shit.
0 for 3.
Yeah. And then this creepy, did you see the picture of Skip in his Cowboys gear?
Yeah, what is that?
It looks like he's like in a fucking garage or something. It looks like it's nighttime out. Like, I guess he gets up at 3 on the weekends. And
some real psycho stuff going on.
He just says, ready for today's NFL and for tomorrow's Undisputed. And he hashtag Drip Bayless, and he's wearing that dumb necklace. And it looks like he's about to fucking kill somebody. I think
it looks like he's about to break into a car or something.
Yeah,
like he just. This is like a character you would see on Cops. What were you doing here? I was just waiting for my friend. You were okay, and you had that crowbar. Yeah, I was just waiting for my friend. He needed to open some crate at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, no, what's going on here?
God, it's
what's going on? Do you have any known monikers? Yeah, I go by Drip Bayless. You mind if you just take a seat in my car while I just run your plates?
It's Drip Bayless because he has Tom Brady's cum all over his lips. All right, now making some picks this week. I forgot to get the guest picks week 1. I wasn't thinking ahead. Skip right now with just the predictions that I've taken into account. He's now 3-1, which sucks. But he just picks the Cowboys games, and it's pretty fucking easy so far. I so far am, what would I be? I was 21-11 last week, is that the amount? And then 9-6 this past week. I got kind of fucked up. I don't know who did I pick tonight? Who's playing tonight? Shit.
Washington and the Bears.
Oh, what a fucking game. I'm sure I picked the Bears, but that could be either way. Who'd you have? Do you know?
I picked the Skins with the points, but I checked the score. It doesn't look good for me.
Oh, well,
Looks like the Bears are. Last I checked, it was 21-0. So
Shit.
good start. Good start for the Bears.
Wow, crazy.
Looks like Case Keenum turnover machine.
Yeah.
So Skip was worried about him. No
Man.
need to worry about Case Keenum.
Trubisky's finally doing it. Man, I was one of the guys on this trip this past weekend was a hardcore Bears fan, and I got to ask him about how he felt about passing on Mahomes to trade up to get Trubisky.
Man. You can't be happy.
And who else? Watson, and now Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar coming out of college. Like, so
well,
weird.
if you build the offense around him and use him the right way, especially, and his accuracy seems to have gotten better. So, yeah.
He looked good. Like, even in the loss this week, like versus Kansas City.
Yeah, he looked way better than he looked last year.
Yeah, and he got ripped apart in the playoff game last year where they were getting dominated. He was having a shitty game.
They're getting pushed around.
But then he brought them back and like got within like
he made it competitive.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
listen, that was his 7th start, so it's still early.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Lamar.
yeah. But what is he like? 10-1 or 8-1 or 9? Like,
Yeah, he's
something
got a
like,
good record.
Yeah, that's
sure.
insane. Okay, so I'm gonna get your picks. I'm gonna just go down there. I haven't looked at them yet, but Philly at Green Bay. I assume Philly
I'll take,
for you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna go. Man, that's hard. Green Bay's 3-0, right?
They're due for a loss.
Yeah, they are due for a loss, and Philly is fucking hungry. It's at Green
Desperate
Bay, though. Ooh,
I am
boy.
worried about our secondary.
Yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay on that one, though. But fuck, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's tough. Washington at the Giants. I'll go Washington.
Yeah. Daniel Jones getting a lot of hype, but they don't have Saquon Barkley, so I'll go
Oh,
Redskins.
right. Yeah, he's down. Good God. Daniel
They're
Jones
gonna be in
finally gets in and then doesn't have. Oh, that's going to hurt. You want Washington? Chargers at Miami. Chargers for both of us, I assume.
Yeah.
And then Oakland at Indy.
The Indy all day.
Yeah. Yep.
Fading the Raiders hardcore.
Indy for both. Dude, I am rooting against John Gruden so hardcore.
Oh, man. He's so fun to root against.
Yeah, as soon as he did that 1998 quote, I was fucking out. I was like, oh, boy, you're going to get fucked up. Carolina at Houston. Wait, Carolina? Yeah, at Houston. I'll go Houston.
Yeah, they're at home. I'll take Houston there.
KC at Detroit. I'll go KC.
Yep.
It's crazy. Do you think Patricia's gonna actually be okay?
I don't know. I didn't see it at all for this Lions team, and they've won. They haven't lost yet, but they haven't looked great at all. So I don't know. They're in a weird space.
Yeah. Ooh, New England at Buffalo. I mean, you think
You gotta
New
take
England?
New England. They just don't lose.
Yeah, there's a part of me wants to go with
Buffalo
Buffalo
probably
for a
getting a lot of
weird
points,
upset,
so maybe
but
I'll talk myself into them. But
yeah. Josh Allen is interesting. I don't know that
he's all over the place.
Yeah, like
He's kind of exciting.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, but it's weird that like I think he doesn't get a lot of hype, but I still think he's a little bit overhyped. Like I've heard more positive than negative.
Yeah.
But his numbers, it's like Dak, where he was like he would win, a decent
Win games,
amount,
but not.
It's like, man, he
not
got
look amazing
in a league like this, and if you're getting 103 yards, like, come on. Cleveland at Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore for sure. God, that's it's so great watching Cleveland fucking eat shit.
Especially with Baltimore coming off a loss.
Yeah. Earl Thomas was angry. Tennessee at Atlanta. Fuck, that's a tough one. I thought Atlanta was going to be better. They're looking like I'm going to go Atlanta, though, I think.
Yeah, I guess they're at home.
At home, yeah. Tampa Bay at the Rams. I'll go Rams.
Yeah, it's easy enough.
Seattle at Arizona. Seattle.
Yeah.
Kyler's getting close.
Yeah. I'll say, Seattle coming off a loss, too. Yeah, I guess I'll stick Seattle.
Jacksonville, Denver. Oof. Denver is hungry for a win.
I love Gardner Minshew.
God, he's the best.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I
Give me
thought
Jacksonville.
I thought that picture of him off the plane was fake.
Oh, no.
I thought that was a joke meme. I didn't figure out that was real till today.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that made me like love me. I mean, his name, his first name, his last name, his look. He's playing well. Both Jacksonville, Minnesota, Chicago. I'll go Minnie. Is that Chicago though? That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'll randomly say Chicago shows up against Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, man. They're not letting him do much, and that seems to be the fucking formula.
Yeah.
Hey,
passed
Dalvin.
10 times.
Yeah. Dallas at New Orleans. Oof. I'm going Dallas, but they look good with Bridgewater this week.
I can't be on record picking the Cowboys, so I'll have to go with New Orleans here.
It's at New Orleans, too.
Tough spot.
Skip's
nervous.
Yeah. Oh, God. He said he never was high on Bridgewater, but watch as the week goes on, he's going to be like, oh, Teddy Bridgewater. I've always said he's the best quarterback of all time. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, last one.
I got to go Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they haven't won.
Yeah, they're both over, but Pittsburgh's going to be super desperate at home.
Yeah. Man, Cincinnati in that first game looked really good, but are they 0 for 3?
Yeah.
Good God. Yeah, I'm going to go Pitt. And now my two favorite segments real quick. Every week we get to start a new rumor about Skip Bayless. It can be anything we want. Anything you want to get out there and just...
A rumor about Skip Bayless. All right, here's that he also, much like Joe Buck, is addicted to hair plugs. It will come out in the near future when his voice is paralyzed, and that will not stop him from doing the show, and we'll actually see a ratings increase to the point that it will beat out Fox News' Red Eye. So it's half rumor, half prediction.
And he tied it all together beautifully. Hey, I could see it, man. That hair looks he's like
questionable. It's too good.
It's
Skip.
very thick for a guy that age. And you know,
Bald
he's got all
Bayless.
those creepy like pictures of him with his shirt off flexing.
Very odd.
And very ripped for a guy that age as well. So yeah. I could see him, you know.
He's taking some hormone replacement. Something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, and he likes the Patriots who cheat all the time, you know. So that all checks out. I don't think that's a rumor. I think that's actually true.
Straight fact.
And last segment, what do you think Skip Bayless's favorite movie is? I've been debating this, but the first thing the instinctive thing, I don't really know why, was like Big Mama's House 2 or something. Just because he seems like he would like really shitty comedies.
Yes.
But you could also go like Mikey, who's here doing audio, is saying Driving Miss Daisy. Were you saying that because he's like so old, or like? Yeah, he thinks Jessica Tandy's really hot. Yeah. Yeah. Or like could be like a silent era movie, you know, or
what's
so
the first film
old.
like League of Nations or something?
Yeah.
You know what? I think it would probably be, let's see. You know what? I think it'll be something here. I'll go out on a ledge here and I'll say it's his favorite movie is Pineapple Express, because I just like the idea that he read something that this is the new hip comedy. I think secretly Skip thinks of himself as a funny person, or I guess it's not that secret, but he fancies himself a funny person and a smart person. And Pineapple Express is like, you could see him reading something, hearing some buzz about Seth Rogen or Judd Apatow. Someone, you know, one of his LA Hollywood friends mentions how it's like a secretly underrated comedy. He steals that take. He steals many of his takes, and says Pineapple Express out of nowhere because he likes to throw people off with his takes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
that probably isn't what his actual favorite movie is, but I would say if pressed, that's what the answer he would give.
Yeah, the same logic you could say, like, what's a movie that is universally hated, you know?
Yeah.
What's like
some contrarian.
Yeah, you could go or like you could say Big Lebowski's terrible, or
that would be Skip.
Or what's something that everybody hates?
Like Waterworld. That's probably Skip's favorite movie. Probably last time he went to the theater was to see Waterworld. I don't need, Costner nailed it. You can't beat that film. Cinema at its finest. Waterworld.
You know he loves Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
That's got to be his favorite actor.
And he has a Dances with Wolves poster somewhere in his office. He likes the flexing, the shirtlessness.
Hey Kevin, how am I doing today? And he's like flexing his biceps. I've actually got a Kevin Costner action figure over there.
Oh wow!
I'll show you in a second. Didn't need to say that on the podcast. We'll edit that out. We're not. Yeah, that's Skip goes down to like Universal Studios every Saturday to watch the Waterworld stunt show, which is a real thing.
Wow, really?
Oh
Did
yeah, you
not
didn't know
that.
Yeah, I thought like this movie lost so much money that we're gonna make it up slowly at Universal Studios theme park. So
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that definitely had to have been like, well, we got to write this off somehow, so we're gonna create this. We have all these props.
Or I guess they just assumed it was gonna do so well too that they're like they already made it and they're like, well,
We're not gonna unmake this.
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I'm still curious. I still got to see it, but anyway, I think we got a lot of options for his dumb favorite movie. God, that's fun to think about. I really Kevin Costner's a pretty safe bet though for his favorite actor.
Yeah, I can
It
definitely
just
see
feels
that.
like a Skip Bayless take. Him just in bed with his wife Ernestine talking about how great Kevin Costner is and Tom Brady and all the others. Anywho, all right. Well, hey Sean, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, everybody listen to his podcast, Sports Gambling Podcast, and anything else you want to plug or?
No, that's about it. Yeah, if you live in LA, do the Comedy Garage show in Echo Park. But yeah, just check me out on Twitter at Sean T. Green and the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Oh yeah, and what's Testify
Barker.
Yeah,
Yep.
Check out Tess's as well. And as always, rate, subscribe, review. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.